if you're somebody who is ambitious, who sets your sights really high for what you want to achieve in your life, you and me are much the same. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about what I've learned from creating a successful business online and the things that I've had to learn and adapt and change as a result of the things that I've learned, honestly, the hard way. Things that I'm in the middle of changing right now through the lessons that I've learned. And hopefully these lessons are going to massively help you so that you don't come across the same difficulties as I have. So before I get into this video, I'd like to let you know that there is currently a 7-day free trial on my beautiful, incredible community, The Living Room. This is a place where often people come initially because they may be struggling with a relationship or something like that. They want support and advice on an ending, grief, loss or something. But we have realized throughout the process of having The Living Room that actually it's about so much more than just relationships. It's about life. We talk about absolutely anything and everything that you want to uncover. It is life coaching at the end of the day. And we also have a creativity room, which is the perfect companion because it helps you to use the other side of your brain when you are processing a difficult thing, right? Which helps us to gain insights, access a higher power, access our higher self, and actually move forward in a new and inspired way. So if you want any more information about that, you can find out all about it in the link below. So I started this YouTube channel 5 years ago, and the whole meaning and goal for me was not really to create a business, to be honest. I didn't actually intend to create, financial wealth or anything like that. I didn't mean for that to happen. I was just posting because I wanted to, because things were happening in my life. I wanted to share my story. I wanted to inspire other people. My whole sort of ethos has always been, I want to be someone who inspires hope and possibility in other people. That's how I've always lived my life. So I started sharing videos back then. And then what happens on YouTube as a platform or any platform on social media is that it starts to figure out who you are, what you talk about, and it categorizes you and puts you in an algorithm so that it can feed you out to the people who need your message in particular. So I got put into the algorithm about relationships because that's what I was talking about at the time in manifestation, which, by the way, I still love manifestation. It's just that I kind of got boxed into manifestation and relationships, which became problematic as I went through my own life's journey, my own difficulties, and I started to feel like I was outgrowing a lot of the topics. So what every single successful business person will experience is highs and lows and growth and change, because you cannot stay the same when you create a business. You have to evolve. You have to keep inventing something. You have to keep changing. And as you change, you will come up against resistance, right? Resistance is part of evolution and part of growth. So one of the things that has happened is that as I have been kind of put in an algorithm, I was doing really well. Like technically, I was doing really, really well. I was having maybe sometimes 10K months, which was like more money than I'd ever had like in my life. It was like amazing, life changing, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. Everyone was like, wow, my family, like, this is amazing. But the problem was being boxed in and chasing like the algorithm, what the algorithm wanted, was driving me into burnout, and it was making my life and work feel really like one thing. This is why I come to the studio now quite often, because actually coming to a studio helps me to separate my life from work. Yeah. So I was starting to feel like everything was all morphing into one, and that I had to share absolutely everything, and it was all up for scrutiny. The more you grow in your presence anywhere, the more up for debate you become. So one of the things that I found really hard was that I was not prepared for the level of scrutiny that I might get in the comments from people I'd never met before in my life, and how much that might affect me. I really really struggled with taking it very, very personally and feeling really upset about it. And that made me want to like literally hide into a hole and never return to the internet. So that's one of the ways that I've had to like really thicken my skin and find ways of making myself feel safer to post things. But the main point that I suppose I wanted to share in this video is that on those months where I made 10k, like, did I achieve like peak happiness? No, because it wasn't about that. It was sort of really interesting because, you know, it made me think, well, how can I make money and also feel really good about what I'm doing? There must be something really misaligned here. And the misalignment was in the chasing, was in the trying to serve the algorithm, trying to serve other people. And in chasing what you think other people want, you very much will lose sight of yourself and what you want. And that is massively what happened to me. So this YouTube channel has changed like a few times. We're currently in the messy middle of a new transition, because whenever I've reached one of these blockages where I've gone, oh my God, I've boxed myself in again, I feel really uncomfortable. And so that can't be the container, you know, just sharing painful life lessons exactly as I have them. And actually before this had happened, I would always be someone who shared positive reframes of life, positive reframes of difficult things. That's what I've done with all my friends. It's what people come to me for in my real life. You know, I'm the person that people come to when they want a positive reframe of something that's happening, in encouragement, inspiration, that they can get through anything. That's kind of really the core message. But being boxed into a certain algorithm really did make me chase, and I became dependent on that money. So what has happened is, and this is the hard lesson in this, which by the way is for my greater good and would be for anybody's greater good, is that when you start to be honest with yourself, as I've said many times, about your business, about what's working for you, what's not working for you, life will show you resistance, and things in business, like by its very nature, are up and down. And I'm in a transition, so financially it goes right down. That's terrifying. That is terrifying. But it is, what's so important is being able to stick to your truth. And so I'm literally in the middle of going, no, I'm holding my ground. I'm holding my ground. I'm going to be authentic. I'm going to be real. I'm going to show myself and other people what it's like to actually go through the messy middle and come out the other side. And I think this is so important to know in business, that you can't become dependent on the numbers. You can't become, you have to literally not chase butterflies, but actually just build a garden and let the butterflies come. Because as you change, you'll lose people. Like, I've lost quite a few followers in the last couple of weeks. Expected. That's expected, because I'm changing. And I've gained other followers. Also expected. Because as you become the person that you want to be, you'll resonate with new people and lose some people. And it's really about having a really strong head frame in terms of like, yeah, this is supposed to happen. This is what happens in business. You change, you evolve, people come, people go. And the message changes over time as you change. You know, Taylor Swift is a perfect example of somebody who's like, I am me, but I am going to do what I want to do. Some people are going to like it. Some people are not going to like it. This is this era. This is this era. This is that era. And at the moment, we're in the era of change. We're in the era of reclaiming self. We're in the era of not abandoning the self anymore, right? And so I think for me, it's been stressful. That's no word of a lie. It has been really stressful because obviously I do need to survive. I do need financial income. And it would be great to have those really successful months again. But I know that the happiness is not on the other side of those successful months. The happiness is within me, authentically living the way that I want to be. And that has to come first. Because if you try to reach for the goal first, then you're always going to be reaching for another one and another one and another one. And that's the main message. So wherever you're striving, hoping, remember that you've got to come from you're already good enough, and that you already are exactly who you need to be and where you are, and that the numbers don't reflect your worth at all. Sorry, I'm just looking at how much time I've got left before this cuts off. That's what I really wanted to share today. You're enough. I'm enough. And it's about building the garden and letting people come rather than chasing. If you're chasing, it is the lead up to burnout. So I hope you found this video useful. If you'd like any more information about what I do, you can find out in the link below, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.